Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? I dated a Kaizer Chiefs player. He was a star player when he was at Kaizer Chiefs. When my father stopped helping him, that was when his career faded. I am a Zimbabwean woman who is living in Canada. I am in my early 30s now. People who know me, they don't even know that I used to date this once famous Kaizer Chiefs player. And I do have a lot of secrets that follow me growing up as a daughter whose father was a sangoma. I have a lot of secrets that I want to share with you, but as for today, I just want to talk to you about my boyfriend, how he messed up in our relationship, and how my father punished him, and how he wanted us to get back together simply because he wanted my father's charms. As for my father, he was not that kind of a sangoma that you can joke about. He was feared, and he was someone that was well known in our area. And even during the times when people would be campaigning, they were people that used to come to our house so that my father can give them charms that were going to make them to win the elections, including some other musicians as well. They were being helped by my father. As for my father, he was Malawian by birth, but he migrated to Zim, and he grew up in Zim. He was working there, and he got married to my mother, and he became a sangoma. So growing up as a sangoma's daughter, I saw a lot of things that were scary, things that were amazing, the way that my father would cure people that would come to our compound. So I then started dating this other famous Zimbabwean footballer whom I met when he came to our house because he wanted to be helped by my father. He was brought to our compound by his mother, who had been helped by my father before. So I won't mention his name, but the clue that I can give you, for one season, he was hot, very hot. The fans, they loved him quite a lot, and he had very good dribbling skills. And as for defenders, most of them, they would not even stand a chance against him because of the way that he used to dribble them, and he was a Zimbabwean. So people just thought that he was naturally gifted, but I knew better. If it was not for that Zulu woman that he had impregnated, I think that maybe he could have even become a bigger star, but he started dating Zulu women, and he forgot about the woman who was helping him in his career. So when we met, I saw that he was very cute, and at that time he was not that much into me, but we started being close because my father used to give me the charms, and since this guy, there was no way that he would get on the aeroplane and fly to South Africa having these ashes that he was supposed to use whenever they would go and play. It was not practical, and it was impossible. So he used to pay my father, and then my father would give me money. I would get on the bus with that ashes in a small plastic bag, and I would travel from Zim to South Africa, and this is what I used to do. And we became close, me and this guy. He then proposed love to me, and before I even knew it, I was staying in Senton. He was my boyfriend, I was his girlfriend, but the abuse that I received from that man, it was just too much. He would date so many women, sleep around, and it was painful. And he was very good at promises. He would promise me that he was going to change, he would love me, but still this guy, he would continue dating all of these South African women that would throw themselves at him One night when we went to a club, he told me to look at myself and to look at other Zulu women that were in the club, and to look at myself to see if I could compare myself with the great bodies that they had. That was when I knew that this guy, we were never going to get married. He only loved me because my father was the one that was helping him spiritually, and you could see that he was rising as a great footballer simply because my father was giving all of those charms. That was why he loved me, but he did not really love me. He loved this Zulu woman whom he ended up impregnating, and I kept holding on to him. Most of the people won't understand it, but when you are in love with someone that is famous, you will keep on holding on because you will think that he will change. And I wanted him to be the father of my kids. I was abused by this footballer. You know what he will do is that when you would be sleeping with me, if he feels that he wants to ejaculate, he would pull out of me and he will start to masturbate, and so that his sperms won't enter into my private part, he would ejaculate on my tummy or in my thighs or on the ground. That is what he used to do, and it was proof that he did not want to impregnate me since I was not using any family plan prevention method. So this is how my father had assisted this boyfriend of mine. There is this other bird in our culture in Shona. We call it nyenga nyenga. This bird, it is a very fast bird. In English, it is called a striped swallow bird. If you watch it flying in the sky, it moves very fast. That is why my father chose it. It moves very fast and it changes direction sharply without any warning. It confuses the eye. One moment it's flying to the left, then in a blink of an eye, it turns to the right. That is how this man played that season. And defenders, they would commit early and he would turn, and the moment that he would turn, he would leave that defender behind. And this is why he was very famous in South Africa and they loved him. So the rituals that he was supposed to perform was that my father, he would catch a bird, that nyenga nyenga bird, and my father will burn it until there were only ashes that were remaining. So those ashes, they were the ones that he was supposed to use before a match. My boyfriend, he was supposed to wash his feet with water mixed with those ashes. He even told me that there was this other time when they were doing a derby against Orlando Pirates and it was too tight. Like there was one of this other guy that was always on his case, so he did not find the time to wash his feet. And what he did was that he went into this other toilet and he flushed until the water was clean, and then that was when he took water from the toilet and quickly washed his feet. We laughed about it because he said if he had not done that, he was not going to be able to woo the crowd on that derby that they had. So that is what he used to do. He would carry a small plastic that contained the ashes, but I was the one that will bring those ashes from Zim, and I would come to Senton and he would come and take them. But we were staying together, not like each and every day, but that was where he used to say it is my home, where I was staying. I was his official girlfriend, but I knew that deep down he did not love me like the way that he loved that Zulu woman. And there was a time when we traveled back together to Zim. We were taken by my father into the mountain. That is where my father used to catch these nyenga nyenga birds. And after you would have caught one, my father then told us to gather grass, because the fire that he would light to burn the bird, either alive or dead, he was not supposed to use any firewood but only grass. So we had to gather dry grass, and then he put that bird and he started burning it until there were only ashes that were remaining. And it was not easy because my father, he used to put that bed in a metallic tin, and he had to burn that bed whilst it was inside that tin until there were only ashes that remained. My father would gather as much grass as he could for hours and hours. Yet this man, because he was now famous, he would spend his money because he was getting a lot of endorsements, and he would spend that money not on me. I would never receive any single cent from him. He would always complain that he is broke. If I wanted something, I'm broke, baby. But as for those Zulu women, he would be throwing money at them. So this is what made me to be heartbroken, because when I looked at my father, when he was busy preparing the fire, and I looked at my boyfriend and I said, this man, it means that he does not even appreciate all the hard work that my father is doing for him, simply because my father believed that this one is now my son. He is my son-in-law, and if he is successful, then it means that my daughter as well is going to be successful. He would beat me. He cheated on me, not once, many times. He would embarrass me, especially when we would go to a club. That was the most painful day of my life, when he said, you have to compare yourself with those Zulu women. Do you think that you are the same? He would deny me, especially if we were in public. He would say, do not tell people that you are my girlfriend. He would postpone marriage conversations. He would say, I will talk about it later on. And it was very painful. So I was not telling my father all the things that were happening in my relationship because I wanted to protect him, knowing that my father was very powerful. I did not want my father to harm my boyfriend because I believed that he was going to change. So I then finally went to my father and I spoke to my father about this, and I told my father that my boyfriend was never going to change. My father then said, oh, so this is what he has been doing to you. I thought that you and him, you were okay, you were going to get married. And I said, no, Dad, this is what he does. He has refused to commit to me. He has been cheating, and he has been continuing to cheat on me. And as for now, he has impregnated a Zulu woman. My father was angry. He wanted to strike that man with lightning whilst the match was going on, but my father stopped himself from doing that. My father then said, okay, it's fine. I'm not going to harm him, but I'm going to withdraw from him completely. No more beds, no more preparation, no more protection. So after that, I stayed a little while in South Africa. I was heartbroken. I do not want to lie to you. Even the day when I went to OR Tambo Airport when I was leaving South Africa, as a woman, I still had hope. I thought that if I tell him that I am leaving South Africa, he would realize that he was about to lose someone that had been assisting him in his success. So I called him and he said, what? And I said, I am about to leave South Africa. Maybe you won't see me again. I told him that I was migrating from South Africa and I was going to Canada. And he said, oh, okay, fine. And I cried because I told him that I am at OR Tambo right now. I was telling him because I wanted him to come and take me back to his house to tell me that you are not going anywhere. When I was going through check in and out, I was crying. Even when we boarded the plane, I cried and I said, so I am leaving South Africa. This man, he never cared for me. I finally came to Canada and I forgot about him completely. But what was happening in South Africa was that the next season, there was something that shifted. He was still fast, but he was no longer that tactical like the way that he used to. But it was as if the defenders from other teams, they now knew how to block him, but that was not the case. It was just that he did not have anyone that could give him the ashes anymore. He still dribbled, because he was a footballer, but the defenders, they now knew him. His turns became predictable. He was always losing position. His timing, when it came to passing and even trying to score, his timing was off. And he was always on the bench. I'm not like that much into football, but I would always watch the games and I would see that he was never on the first lineup, and he started having a lot of injuries, smaller ones, then bigger ones. This guy, he was supposed to go and play for the biggest teams because of the way that he was very fast, but it went nowhere. After we had broken up, I forgot about him. He then started looking for me. He would call me, please, I'm sorry, I want you back in my life. And all that I told him was that, you know what, my man, just return back to your Zulu woman. She was the one whom you loved. Why don't you go back and then she can assist you? He tried everything that he thought was possible for him to get back to me, but I said, no, you do not love me. You just want to use me. This is my confession. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister who is saying that she is in Canada. Do you know the name of this footballer? If so, help us in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Do you know this bird, the striped swallow? I'll try to look for a picture, then I'll put the picture on the video so that you can also recognize the bird. It is called Nyenga Nyenga. The bird is very fast. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. If you know any footballer that was also using charms, maybe in your country, you can also bring your confession even through TikTok, Facebook at Brother Nashim. Then there is another message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. The message, it reads like this: hello my brother, how are you? Can you please post my story? Is anonymous. I am a South African woman. I am about to go to Zim for the first time, but my boyfriend, he scares me quite a lot. My boyfriend, sometimes he has hallucinations. He can start to scream on top of his voice. I really do not know what's wrong with him. My boyfriend, me and him, we met after his company had been consulting with the company that I was working for at that time. So my boyfriend, he is a subcontract for this other very big company, not wanting to mention the name of that company. So my boyfriend is all about money. We fell in love. From the first day when we slept together, I woke up, it was around 1 a.m. It was someone that was screaming so loud on top of his voice. I ran downstairs and I saw my boyfriend. He was sleeping on the couch and he was screaming. I asked him, what is wrong with you? He just said that, I thought that I was drowning in a river. And he then sat down with me and he started crying. He then told me that this started when he was 21. That was when he started to have these visions of people coming to kill him. He scares me. I asked him, did you ever do drugs in your life? He said, no, I only smoked Zol. That is the only drug that he ever took in his life, but he no longer smokes weed at all. I want to know, is this a medical condition? Why does he scream? Sometimes he can punch the walls. It is so scary. If you ask him, why are you punching the walls? He will say that, I see a face that is in the wall. Can you see that woman who wants to eat me alive? I have begged and pleaded with him to go to the doctor so that he can be checked, but he refuses. I'm staying because he is filthy rich. And he is saying that let us go to Zim. I am about to go and meet my in-laws. What if he kills me in Zim? He has never beaten me, but the way that he punched the walls, that was the most scary thing that I have ever witnessed in my life. After that episode would have happened, he collapses to the ground for 30 seconds or even a minute. Sometimes you will think that he has stopped breathing. Then when he wakes up, it is also scary. It will be like as if he has seen something that scares him to death. I have asked him and begged him to go to the clinic, to the doctor, but he refuses. He says, no, it's okay. It is just a hallucination. If there is anyone who is a doctor who knows about these symptoms, if there are symptoms, what am I supposed to do to assist my partner? Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to assist our dear sister in the comment section. Maybe he has a mental health problem. You need to force him to go to the doctor so that he can be checked. But let us help her in the comment section.